It is the 270th day of the year, which means it's a Saturday and it's 9 o'clock. Woo-hoo-hoo! It's time for yet another Monster Magic Saturday show. Let's do this!
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Good morning, everybody. Wow, another Saturday. I've actually had a little bit of trouble trying to decide what to show you today. There have been quite a few exciting new releases, and I think I've picked a pretty good smorgasbord. First up, we have Royal Fantasy by Luba Fiedler and Joao Miranda. This is a take actually on, or a reissue, I suppose, of Luba Fiedler's Royal Fantasy that came out about 10 or 12 years ago, I believe. It's been unavailable for a very long time, and Joao Miranda has got together with one of Luba Fiedler's old friends, and they've recreated it in exceptionally good quality. What you do is you ask your participant to hold out both of their hands, and you show that you've got the Jack of Clubs, and you put that in one of their hands. You then show you've got the Jack of Spades, and you put that in the other hand. You show the remaining two cards are the Jack of Diamonds and the Jack of Hearts, and then quick as a flash, they all turn into the eights. It is a fast, visual trick. It's really, really clever as well. The plot you might recognise from tricks like NFW, which later became even more popular with Richard Sanders's Aces, which then became Spidey's King Kong, also released by Sanders FX. So that tells you just how good this plot is and how lovely those changes are. The nice thing is obviously that your participant has two of the cards in their hand. They've clearly seen them to be the jacks. They then are the jacks, and they are completely ungimmicked, and they can be handled freely. Three of the cards are actually completely ungimmicked at the end, and that's really, really nice. What I've got here, let me show you the card particularly. So I've got the larger size. It comes in two sizes. There's a poker size as well. I actually prefer the bigger size. Mainly, I think, I'm not quite sure what it is, but I do prefer it. I think it's because of the style of the cards. They seem sort of tarot-ish to me, and that sort of leads to a slightly bigger card than a poker-sized card. There's a reason for the design of the cards being like this, by the way, and because there are no indices as well, it sort of hints that they should be kind of older, and maybe that just lends itself to being a larger card for me. Also, I think there's no reason, it's no harder to do it with larger cards, and I think it plays that a little bit bigger, and I think the changes are just fractionally stronger, perhaps. The handling, again, is just as easy. The only real downside is that you probably need to carry it around in the breast pocket of a jacket. With the poker sized cards, you probably want to keep them reasonably safe. You keep them in one of the suede wallets that they come in. These are very nice. I think perhaps with the poker one, you're probably going to want to put it in a packet trick wallet to keep it even safer. But that one obviously you can carry around very easily, and it's well worth carrying around. And the style of the cards, I think, really does make it slightly different to your ordinary card trick. Ooh, that's the instructions. I'll put the instructions away. So I won't show you all of the cards because I don't want to show you the gimmick as such. But let me show you the eights, because these are the cards that you end up with. They're not, or these aren't. They're not on bicycle stock as such. They are quite flimsy. The back design is non-specific, but cleverly done to hidden exactly how the effect is done at the end. And actually, because of the method, you probably don't want these being too stiff anyway. The method does require a little bit of setup when you first get it, a tiny titchy bit of arts and crafts, but that's nothing to worry about. You do get some material to do that with. That material is easily replaceable, or there are other substitutes out there, so you don't need to worry about that. And the method is surprisingly clever. Luba Fiedler, a highly imaginative man. It's a little bit borrowed from brother John Hammond originally, but I think the method will surprise you. It's very clean, and it's a beautiful, beautiful trick, quite honestly. If you've ever done the trick, the last trick of Doc Daly's, and you really should have, to be honest, it's a very simple trick, you will understand the power of having cards simply just swap in your participants' hands. With this, they actually change into different cards, as do yours, all 4 cards changing. It's eye-popping, it is really, really visual, it's fast, it's easy, and you will have lots and lots of fun performing it. If you're going to be hopping from group to group, there is a titchy little bit of reset that you can do between groups very, very easily. It takes a matter of seconds. The tutorial is just 8 minutes long. It is by Joao Miranda himself, and really it simply covers the history of it, Luba's idea, how it works, and a basic presentation. There's no hook or whatever added to it. You can do that if you wish. I really don't think it needs it at all, to be honest. I think it's just a great packet trick. That is Royal Fantasy by Luba Fielder, Joao Miranda, £17.50 in poker size and $29.99 in the larger size. Next up, it is Inflation by Tango Magic. Once again, it's a new take. Or is it new? I don't know. It's another take on the hopping halves. The big difference here being it is with a Chinese coin with a hole in the middle. You show that you've got 2 coins, a $50 and the Chinese coin. You take away the $50, you put it in your pocket. When you open your fist, it has returned and you've still got both coins. You then take away the $50, put it in your pocket, it returns and you've still got 2 coins. You take away the Chinese coin again, put it in your pocket, you open your fist and it has returned. You've still got 2 coins. You then take away the silver coin, put it in your pocket. Next time you open your fist, they have both gone. You don't so much as end clean with the hopping halves as end empty-handed. There's no real way of ending clean or starting clean with this effect. It could possibly be done, but you'd need to find some matching coins. The $50 isn't a problem, but you will need to find another one of these Chinese coins which look like this. I haven't tried so yet. It would be nice if you could, but there you go. So you can do a search for something that looks similar to that. Other than that, I don't think it's desperately necessary. You can't start clean, which is always the strongest way. The gimmicks are made pretty precisely. They do work very, very well. Gimmicks of all of this nature have got a little bit of allowance. So when you start off, they do make a little bit of a noise if you're not careful. You've got to sort of give them a bit of a squeeze to make sure they remain silent. And again, if you're in a perfectly quiet environment, you probably do want to be making a little bit of noise yourself, a little bit of chatter, just to cover the nesting and unnesting of the coins. I think it is really nice having a hole in one of the coins. It does add an element of deception to it. The hopping halves was one of the first coin tricks I ever did, mainly because you can buy it and it makes it look like you've got an incredible amount of skill. It's very, very easy. It's got multi-phases, so it does last a little bit of a time. And each phase, although very, very similar, well, exactly the same, I suppose, it does seem to grow as the coins keep coming back. It does create an idea that it's even more impossible as it goes on. There's no real hook to it. So the presentation by Mr. Tango himself is very short. It's really just running through the mechanics of how the coin set works and the routine. I don't think this is one of those tricks that requires too much of a plot. You've got it's got the plot, too much of a presentation. I don't think you need to hang anything desperately on it. Just the idea of the coins going back is clever enough. A homing coin, the coins in the things, hole in the pocket, you can do whatever you want, but I don't think it really needs that. It's a lovely, powerful coin trick that is so easy to do. The coin with the hole in the middle, I think that does add something to it. I think it does make it a little bit more mysterious. The only downside is the coins can't be inspected at any point. You can flash both sides of the coins throughout the routine. For 80% of the routine you can do that, and that makes it look very clean anyway. This is one of those tricks that appeals to both the complete novice and the pro. It is easy to do and enjoyable to do, but it's also baffling. That is Inflation by Tango Magic, $39.99. Next up, we have the biggest release over the last couple of weeks by the big man himself, Craig Petty. When I watch Craig Petty, he goes right to my head. And I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Yes, it is Game Night by Craig Petty. The idea behind this is yet another deck of his. Who would have thought? I'm sure he said he was going to hang up working on decks about 3 years ago. But anyway, here we are. This isn't so much a deck of cards as a bank of trivia quiz cards. You have your participant choose a quiz card to think of the answer to that question, and you are able to tell them what that is. You can do that multiple times, and you can end up by asking them to think of an interesting word in the question, and you can tell them what that word is too. That's the basic straightforward routine. Obviously with Craig there's going to be other options, so the tutorial is only 1 hour and a half long. Craig really has reined himself in quite nicely. Most of that is him talking about how it works, exactly how to handle it. It starts off really with the principle that's involved. Then it goes on to false shuffling. Then it goes on to how about having a card selected. If you've worked with a deck like this before, and Craig has released similar decks like this, then you will be very, very familiar with what you can and can't do with it. But Craig runs through everything in great detail. He leaves nothing out, which is why his tutorials tend to last so long. He wants to make it perfectly clear, and he's not scared perhaps of teaching you Grandmaster Suck Eggs. He just wants to know that anyone from the complete novice will get it. There is a little chapter bit at the start of the video, so if you're not too bothered about the false shuffles and so on, you can click through. But he teaches things such as the Charlie A shuffle, the running carts, and so on, plus the riffle shuffle as well. The actual method involved, let me show you the cards. I'll show you the cards first and we'll talk about it. It comes in this nice box, keeps it nice and safe. Here is what the box looks like. You will probably be carrying them around in this, and it's called Question Time. It's a trivial game. The trick's called Game Night, so actually anyone googling Question Time won't find out what this is should they do that. The cards are like so. Let me show you a question card. There you go. They are very easy questions, but the answer is on the card as well. And I can show you quite a lot about this deck actually, because I think Craig's done a deep expose on it. The backs aren't marked at all, so there's no markings to see. The way it works is you'll see in the question there's usually, well, it is basically mother of all book tests, and the actual principle involved here is a combination of the Many Teckle deck, which is a deck that I deeply love, which was well, it's attributed to Berlin Hull back in 1909, but there is some ideas that it might have drifted back into the late 1800s, but Berlin Hull was probably the first person to actually publish it as a deck called the Devil's Pass. Leroy a couple of years later also released one, but that's enough of that. And it works by having pairs of long and short cards. So it's a bit like a Svengali, but instead of having the duplicates running all the way through, it just matches the pair in front. This does it with game cards. It's just very annoying because I've been working a long time with a Many Teckle deck, and I haven't really thought of having it printed in anything but playing cards, but Craig has done that. I'm going to take a little bit of a departure now from a review and just show you how I handle a Many Teckle deck, because it might answer some people's questions. So also with this, you can reverse it. So this is a standard many tackle deck. So it means that when they select a card, they have to select the bottom card of this. You can simply just reverse it so that it's the top card of this stack if you wish. Craig doesn't bother, but let me get into my handling. So Craig teaches the riffle shuffle. You can, if I just show you how the deck works, essentially, so they're in pairs. So you've got 23, 24, 35, 36, 37, 38. I haven't got my glasses on, but there's 21, 22, 23, 24. So you see, as long as the numbers still match, you're fine. But you can actually just overhand shuffle this deck. And if I now show you, you can see here, that's always a good check that they're all still paired up nicely. You can't see any thickness on the edge. And if I go through it again, I've still got my glasses on mine, 37, 38, 39, 40, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, all the way through. So it's got 19, 20, 49, 50. So they do stay together. There's not much of an art to doing that. You just simply make sure you're just holding by the ends and just overhand shuffle. Don't overthink it, and it will work fine. The other thing I'm going to teach you is how to have a card selected in a non-traditional Svengali way, and that's a little bit harder to explain. I might put a booklet together on this, but you need to sort of aerate the deck like this. So you're not pushing down square, you're pushing down on these corners here on the back, and you push down and it creates this bow. The further you have it into your hand, the more you can do it. You don't necessarily have to do the whole deck. You then pinch it, hold it like this, and a lot of the cards will fall out. That means when you then pinch it and spread, they can only pick one of the cards that you want. So the matching to that card will always be here. The matching to that card will always be here. And they can just take one like that. You can also do that from a spread on the table. But all that worries magicians far more. The way that Craig teaches it is absolutely fine and good to go. I love the cards. The cards are nice, they're clear. Because they are just white with print, it's not going to be affected by any lighting conditions. The answer is written quite small. So if someone's reading glasses, they might struggle with that, but it's more than likely that they will actually know the answer. The questions are not difficult by any means. Because it works on Larry Becker's flashback principle from his book test, that means you don't need to look at any markings or anything on the card that the person has chosen. You don't need to see that card at all. You have the answer in your hand. The addition of the mother of all book tests is really to give it an ending. Otherwise you could go on ad infinitum with people just telling them the words. You don't want to do it too many times. 2 or 3 times is fine. Then you want a bit of a finale. The mother of all book tests provides that. The nice thing here is you don't need to worry about the first letter. There's no fishing in that. Again, you have that answer in your hand. You've already know what their word is. So that is really good and really clever. He then teaches a way of having it as a prediction using the ringtone on your phone. That is a good idea as well. He's mentioned that before in other tutorials. I first saw Jamie Williams do that in a lecture quite a while ago. It's become quite a nice popular way of revealing something. It also adds a nice audible reveal, and it is quite fun. There is also a little bit of a bonus routine by Peter Nardi of Alakazam Magic, and that is a nice way of doing it as well, with dealing the cards out. That's just as good as the main trick, really, I think, but you will need a table for that. Like I say, I love this principle so much. I really, really do. To turn it into quiz cards is genius, because I love that as well. I did actually try and come up with a Trivial Pursuit idea. It was much more complicated than this. This is simplicity in itself, and it's got that lovely hook and presentation of a quiz, and it looks genuine enough. The cards themselves are good, and they're strong, and they're stiff. They're on really good cardstock. It's not cardstock, actually, is it? It feels like they're going to be more water resistant than cards as well. They will last you a good length of time for sure. There is a smidge of memory work with the mother of all book tests, but not as bad as the mother of all book tests. And that's the sort of thing you can just run through in your head easily. I used to run through the alphabet with mother of all book tests all of the time. But to help you, there is a crib on the back of the box. I think that you might just use that as your learning tool to test yourself with, more than actually use it in performance. But it is there as a safety net, and why not? At the end of the tutorial, you get some performances by Craig, and really watch those, because it's got all of the sort of classic ways of doing a reveal, of pretending you are getting into someone's mind. Don't just throw it away by telling them what the word is, without giving them any little false explanations for what you're doing. And when you can try and get into the person's mind, that is when tricks like this become really, really strong. As it is, I think it's a great plot. It's got audience participation. It is powerful as well. It's produced really, really well. That is Game Night by Craig Petty. Only $24.99. Next up, it's Face Prediction by Proma. Oh, I love the look of this. You have this little yellow smiley face in a Perspex case. You give it a shake and its eyes and mouth roll around, and you can make some funny faces. You then put it into your participants' hands. You ask them to shake it around. When you take it out with the face that they have made, when you turn over the little blue bag, on the other side is a prediction, and it matches the face they have made. What a lovely, beautiful idea. I just wanted it watching that trailer. I was a little bit worried about how workable it was going to be, and I was probably right to do so. Let me show you what you get though. I can't show you everything that you get because I don't want to show you too much, but so this is one of those tricky things of not wanting to give the game away, but here you go. So you get this face thing. Let me see if I can't show you because it's always going to end up like that, isn't it? But you get to make, it's always going to, but you actually get two of these. They are gimmicked in various ways. I've just realized I wanted to show you some of the funny faces and how cute it is, but I've just realized they're always going to sink to the bottom, aren't they, when I'm showing you like this? So I can make them into a nice, that's a lovely smiley face, but then it falls down. I've had a lot of fun making funny faces with it. Too much. I really should get out more. He says you can't really, or he doesn't give it out to for inspection, to play with at the start. I would. I think it's fine. It is slightly gimmicked, but I think people are just going to be looking at this and doing this with it. I don't think they're going to be inspecting it in any way. And I think that is going to be the real secret to making this workable, is to have this passed around and played with as much as possible. That will take some bravery. You then put it between your participants' hands, and it will always come out with the prediction matching the back of the bag. So there is no multiple outs involved, obviously, because there would be so many multiple outs, your pockets would be completely laden. So really, if you think about it, this effect is absolutely astonishing. The combinations of how those eyes and mouth could end up would be astronomical. So to nail it really is a big feat, and you really can play on that. If you do the effect exactly as taught, then you do at the end up handing out the disc to be freely shaken and inspected, and you are nice and clean. That is brilliant. If you can do that, if you're in the situation where that is possible, I think this is such a good trick. If I was doing a formal parlour thing, I would have this set up on the table ready to go, and that is the one big problem with it. It needs to be set up on the table at the start. You can't sort of set it up on the fly. You can't take it out of your pocket and just do it. It needs to be sort of set up and at rest. I've been thinking about it. I've been playing with it. I think there are ways of getting around it. They may not be quite as good, quite as clean, but I'd so love this shaky face that I think it's well worth working on. It's a charming thing. It's a beautiful idea. It's so engaging. I'm not a big fan of the method as is. I think it's just got too many restrictions as to when you can perform it. And just in case you're wondering, the bag is nice, is genuine. That is stuck on there. Like I say, there are no multiple outs involved. It is always this prediction on this bag. I was pleasantly surprised by the tutorial because if you turn off that very irritating music, there's no speaking in it. There are 2 sets of subtitles, one of which you'll be pleased to know is in English. It's 14 minutes long. It is really clear for this sort of trick, and they've really gone a little bit of the extra mile in places. I do think Proma maybe have learnt from other people's mistakes, and so you do get angles, the magician's angle as well. So the tutorial leaves nothing out, and it will teach you how to do it. It's not a hard trick to do, but it isn't entirely self-working. There are a couple of moves involved that will take some practice in front of the mirror. That is Face Prediction by Promo, £24.50.
I think I ought to see a doctor. Oh, why do you say that? I'm beginning to like the show.
And that's it for this week, I'm afraid. A lot of genuine thanks for watching. I'm absolutely thrilled that people do seem to be subscribing and watching and enjoying the show. Your comments and everything really do mean a lot. I do read them all. I do try to reply to them all. Some weeks I just don't have as much time as others, but thank you all very much for being part of the Monster Magic Saturday show. But until next week, come on, grab some magic, go out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.